Welcome to Business in Berks, the web show where we interview Berks County business owners about their work to grow in Reading and beyond. Today, we are pleased to be joined by Tom Davenport of Blue Marsh Insurance.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it.
You bet. Nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So why don't we just jump right in and tell me a little bit about who you are and how you came to be in this business and a little bit about your team.
Sure. So I'm Tom Davenport. I'm the owner and founder of Blue Marsh Insurance. We've got an office here in Fleetwood, Pennsylvania, as well as down in Honeybrook, and we're looking to grow over the next several years. So I've got a great team that started first with just me and an idea. So in 2008, during the Great Recession, I had this wonderful idea of starting a business from scratch. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I had been in insurance back in 2000, 2001, primarily with doing health and life insurance. And the company that I worked with wanted me to move up here to Pennsylvania to run an office. And I said, okay, we'll do that. I moved on a handshake. Moving on a handshake is probably not the wisest idea. And I learned that lesson the hard way. So here we are in eastern Pennsylvania. Don't really know a soul, but really loved our neighbors, loved our church, and decided, hey, this is where we're supposed to be, and we'll figure it out. So I left insurance and said, I'll never do insurance again. And it's kind of funny how that comes around. And we started in 2008 with a long business plan and really wanted to do things differently. I took a survey of a lot of our friends and said, okay, what do you like about insurance? And the answer was not a whole lot. And found a lot of ideas on ways to do it better. And all of my professional experience has been around how do you take care of your friends? How do you take care of your customers? And when the customer and the friend is one and the same, it makes it easy to figure that out. So that was really the premise behind starting Blue Marsh Insurance was, how do we build a better experience? And over the last 12 plus years, we've added a teammate roughly per year. Between the two locations, I think I have the best team in any business, but for sure in the insurance world for what we do. I've just got some really, really great people that care about their clients.
One of the things you mentioned, you started your business during a recession. And so now we're doing this in 2021. Mm-hmm. So you saw an opportunity back in 2008. Have you or your business partners seen any opportunities moving forward in the insurance world?
Well, that's a great question. I would say, the opportunities that we've seen this year, I don't know if it's specifically for the insurance world per se, but I think there was a lot of piece that came from the experience of starting an agency in 2008, when everyone said you're crazy, this is the worst time in the world to do it. And I think there were a lot of opportunities then that were similar to what we see in the past year, to where I think in general, consumers, our customers, our friends, our family, you get complacent when it's in times of plenty, and in times where things get tough and tighter. Families are more interested in exploring, hey, well, I've been paying the same insurance company this cost for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years even. Businesses the same that have looked at that and said, hey, well, maybe now's a good time to compare. And can I get a second opinion on what we have? And I think that was one of the biggest things, in 2008 that helped me, is that, we helped with health insurance then, with life insurance then. And I would just ask, hey, has anyone done a review of your personal insurance? And that gives a lot of opportunities. And I think we've seen that in 2020 throughout the pandemic, that folks are more interested because they have time, it's been a great thing for us to be able to give them a great experience and yet protect everything that's important at hopefully a lower cost, and we have succeeded. I think we, well over $100,000 that we saved our new clients in premium last year. So I think that's pretty significant.
So kind of to jump back into you and your team and your business here, what types of insurance do you offer?
So it's nice to be independent, and what being independent means is it's not like you go to one insurance company and that's all they have. That's their only options. That's if it's I have a son named Jake, so we say it's Jake from Blue Marsh. But if you went to the other Jake, all you would get was what Jake had to give you. If you come to Blue Marsh, we have over 10 different companies on both personal, commercial, Health insurance, there's not as many options just in the climate that we're in, but we like to be able to provide options. So, to be able to do that, we can find the right fit, help our clients understand what they're getting for what they spend, and feel good at knowing that they have the right fit for their family and their situation. And I'm sure we'll talk about the importance of a personal umbrella policy and what that means. A lot of people have never heard of that, and there's so many things like that I think being able to provide options, the right options for our clients, are probably the most important thing we do.
So being independent versus a captive agent, you're able to offer not just different types of insurance that a single company wouldn't be able to offer, but you're also able to offer them at different price points. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So all the insurance companies have to file the rate with the state, the regulation, or the regulators in the state, and they cannot be all over the place. I will not say my wife's age, but I'm turning 46 soon. We have 4 kids. We have a teen driver. As life has changed with more children, with more vehicles, different things like that, our costs have gone up, and we're able to shop at Blue Marsh Insurance for our customers to see, okay, who's the right option now. The different carriers will have different rates set, like I'm saying, and the company you had 5 years ago might not be the right company for you today. As life changes, they might be. Obviously it's easier for you and for us if it is, and we hope that you get that stability, but sometimes the companies will come in and they're really cheap, and then it's this slow fade that their rates all of a sudden aren't, and you didn't feel it because it was a little bit, and we like to keep them honest too, to make sure that you've got the right option for your family.
So to jump back into 2020, since we're not done talking about that.
Can we be?
Yeah, I wish. What are some of the ways that your team had to adjust the way you work last year and the way that you serve your clients?
Oh, that's a great question. So ways that we've adjusted this year, I think, I'm proud of my team. I mean, I love technology. That's, if you can ask me what's my perfect week look like, it's spending time with my team, finding ways to make a better experience for our clients, whether that's the carriers we have and relationships there, or just the way we interact with our clients using technology. Whether it's being able to text, which you would think, well, everybody can text. Well, not every insurance company or insurance agency does. It's really fascinating to me that we've got this huge industry that seems behind the times in technology. So we've invested a lot in virtual meetings, ways to make even our commercial appointments, for our business clients, simpler. I'm looking at ways of being able to have a digital portal for our commercial accounts to be able to get their policy documents and handle things that way. We've found ways of facilitating electronic payments. We invested in an insurance agency app that's specific for us, so our clients can go in and see all their different policies regardless of, they might be mixed in the different carriers, right? You might have some with one company and something else with another. You might have health insurance, you might have life insurance, and to be able to have an app that has all that pulled together is really important. And just trying to communicate better. I had all my teams set up to work remotely from home. Prior to all this, we really didn't have to do much scrambling the way most companies and insurance agencies did. And I think a lot of that comes to the company culture of just, our folks are all flexible and nimble, and I like being a company of 12 or 13 of us that we're able to make changes quickly, whereas sometimes larger companies can't. And we're also just looking at ways of improving the experience.
So following up on you being a small to mid-sized company, what's something that you really enjoy about being a small business owner here in Berks County?
I think just the environment. I think there's a lot in the area to do. There's a lot of diversity in the marketplace with lots of different businesses, large and small, different neighborhoods. The community feel. As you get to know me, we're a large baseball family. I've got 3 baseball players at home. I coach our varsity team this year, and you won't see me as much in the afternoons in the spring, though. If you try to get a hold of me, you'll know where to find me. I won't be at the office. We just, it's home. There's a lot of, investment and faith in the community. There's a real investment in family in our community, and I think there's a real heart for. I'm not going to say I remember I will say growing up as a kid in Virginia, we'd come up here and visit family in Pennsylvania, and I remember going to Reading to the Vanity Fair outlets, and and I remember how neat the city of Reading was, and I think it's such a really cool place that could be. I think even better than it is. I don't know how to phrase that right, but I just like the area that we're in. It's scenic. The people are nice. There's a lot of options within a short range of us too.
So in this past year, again with the 2020 questions, right? So in this past year, we've seen a huge increase in clients asking about issues with their homes, whether it's they can't pay their mortgage or they can't pay their rent. Mm-hmm. How have you seen that sort of financial squeeze affect your policies, whether it's home coverage or rental insurance?
And I'll kind of answer that a little differently than the typical. It's been an honor for us with the carrier partners that we have to see how they've responded, whether it's flexibility in billing adjustments, whether it's as an example, a lot of the carriers when they came out they said, hey, we're going to give you a 5% reduction or up to 20% reduction in your premium for this 1 month or 2 month period during the pandemic. That helped people. It wasn't a lot of money, but it's a help and showing that they're paying attention. Just the general impact on premiums is more the flexibility that the insurance companies we represent have been really helpful in doing. I don't know if that answers that question well, but I think it's more. I've been pretty pleased with the flexibility that the carriers have allowed us to be able to help our clients with. Seeing the small businesses, we've seen a lot of challenges for sure in the business community. Obviously. One of our niches are craft breweries, and they've had to be very creative with ways to survive throughout the pandemic. And I think they've done a pretty good job of that with different organizations, trade associations that kind of give them ideas, and it's been neat to be a part of that too. I don't know if that helps. But.
Yeah, no, that's great. Mm-hmm. So Tom, given that we're in the law business and you're in insurance, it's no secret that people aren't thrilled to be talking to you sometimes.
I think dentists are at the top of the list, and then it's attorneys, then it's insurance guys. I think that's where that is, right?
So speaking to potential clients right now, what are things you wish you could tell them that they need to know, but they might not want to know? They might not want to talk to you.
Well, I'll say this: that insurance agents don't charge by the hour. We don't charge you for what we do. We're going to make sure you understand what you're getting for what you spend. We're going to, at least my agency, I can't speak for others, and obviously I want you to call Blue Marsh Insurance, and I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. But our whole focus is client experience and making it fun. If we can't help you, we're not going to try to sell you something you don't need. We're going to help you understand what your options are. And if you haven't had a second look in a while, it's probably a good time to do it. We'll make it easy and simple. My goal in 2021 to challenge my team within 21 minutes to be able to ask all the questions that we need to help figure out how we can help you. And it's worth a second look. So I think that's the biggest thing is take a few minutes of time. It doesn't cost you anything to do it, and we do all the work. We compare options for you, and we're looking at over 10 different companies, not just one, like some places you'll go to.
And candidly, I'll say we came to you, I think, a day or two before the end of last year, and needed to purchase a policy. And within a number of hours, we had coverage for a need we had. So it was great working with you guys. Thank you.
And that's kind of our approach too, is we when needed, and again, it's client experience. We want you to have a great experience, and if we can't deliver on it, we would tell you, like, hey, you're asking more than we can deliver. I wouldn't want to do that. However, we find a way and explain it to you, and I have a team of people that really care about making it right.
So what are some times where in your line of work you end up in the legal field, and what does that look like?
I'd say there's really kind of a couple of times, on the business insurance side, we'll have folks come to us all the time and say, hey, here's a contract and it requires X, Y, and Z in insurance. Can you review it? And we say, look, we're not attorneys. We didn't go to law school. Obviously, we know how to handle the questions around the insurance requirements, but we like to partner with you guys in that and send you folks like, hey, let's get in the nitty gritty of what else is in this contract that may be detrimental or may be beneficial to that client. So we bump into it there. On the personal side of things, a lot of folks don't know the way insurance started, but typically it's an insurance policy that says, hey, we're going to cover everything, right? And then over time, the insurance company goes, oh, well, we can't cover that. So then they give you a whole long list of exclusions, and then you can buy back coverage. It makes it even more confusing, which I guess it keeps the attorneys and the insurance people in business. But it's, when there's a large claim of some sort, whether it's, a bad car accident or, a visitor to your property gets hurt, or, you bump into somebody with a shopping cart at the department store, whatever happens. And all of a sudden that becomes a court case, right? So that's where the insurance, gets involved, and the insurance company, steps in and provides, defense and pays, a legal team, and, is really designed to help protect the insured party, our clients, and looking at whatever that is. So one of the things I mentioned earlier is an umbrella policy, and what is that? And so many times people don't understand the value of it, and it's a catastrophic liability policy that is, if your auto policy doesn't have high enough coverage, or your home policy doesn't have high enough liability coverage attached to it, that the umbrella policy kind of steps in and protects you in case of the catastrophic event. You can typically buy an umbrella policy for between $150 and $300 a year, unless you have teen drivers, and then it might be a little bit more. But usually, you think about how inexpensive that is compared to what you're spending in your homeowner's policy for the year and your auto policy specifically for the year, and looking at that. So, I'd say that's a big one. Life insurance being another one, although it's not too much on the law side. Just when family loses one of the mother or the father, and the other one's left behind without anything, and seeing the legal implications of all of that from an estate planning standpoint and everything else is, I didn't get into the insurance business because I grew up in the insurance business. I got into it to help people, and you're buying insurance from somewhere. You might as well have a better experience and have the optimal coverage at the best price. And so that was kind of the reason why we got into that too.
So now, I guess nearly 15 or so years into your insurance career, is that still the driving force behind your day-to-day work? Yeah,
I think so. For me, it's how do we do this better for the client? How do we do it right? And it just comes down to doing the right thing and helping your friends. So when we started it was, helping friends and our clients, and those two being intertwined, and protecting all that's important to them, helping them understand what they're getting for what they spend, and just kind of staying, true to course. I mean, it's always been that way. I left insurance because the insurance company that I worked with wanted me to start selling policies that made more money for them, and it wasn't the right fit for the client, and that's when I said I'm out. So a lot of friends and our pastor at the time had encouraged me to start an insurance agency. I said I'm not doing that again, but I really missed the opportunity to help people, and so we did it, and it was one of the hardest things, but it's certainly one of the best things I've ever done in my life. So it's been good.
All right, well, Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with us and share a little bit about yourself.
You bet. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it a lot, Tim. Thanks.
You can contact today's guest in any of the following ways.